The time is just gone 9:37 a.m. as we continue with the broadcast this morning, and this is quite interesting, an extremely interesting development. Looking at the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and his visit to Turkey. Now we are going to analyze the Saudi-Turkish relations in light of this recent visit, considering some of the history and the recent history that have been playing out between Turkey and South Africa, Saudi Arabia, and also looking at the killing of Jamal Khashoggi. We know what had happened with Qatar as well. But what does this all mean? And to put it into context, to unpack, we joined on the line by Director of International Law at Stoke White. We joined by Hakan Camuz. Hakan, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you?
Yes, now doing very well, and it is a beautiful day of Jummah, alhamdulillah. We're enjoying the benefits of this wonderful day, and we trust and hope that you will be as well, inshallah.
Inshallah. So it's a great day. I'm in Istanbul. It's a beautiful city. It just so happens that I am joining your program from Istanbul, and it's just lovely to be here.
Yes, now let's talk about this visit of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to Turkey. Now, we know of the recent history, we know what has been playing out between Turkey and Saudi Arabia in the last few years, and this new era, in fact, talking about a new era in terms of mending ties between the two. What do you make of this visit, and also some of the thinking behind this visit, and of course receiving MBS in Turkey?
So let's start unpacking it, as you said. Sometimes relationships between two countries do turn negative, and then diplomacy kicks in, and they make amends. And this can happen between any countries. I mean, I was reading this morning how Australian Prime Minister is going to now pay compensation to France, and because it had a really, really serious fallout from the submarine deal, if you remember. And Australian Prime Minister is going to France to make amends and fix the relationships, etc. It's a natural relationship between the states, and this one is no different. Between Saudi Arabia and Turkey, it's a historical relationship. Turkish business people do a lot of business in Saudi Arabia, mainly construction, services, food, other material. The trade has always been there. During the Hajj times, in Turkey used to provide a lot of coaches for logistic reasons, because there was just not enough in Saudi Arabia, and it's just Turkey is not far from Saudi Arabia, etc., etc. So the trade relationship has been kind of good, and obviously the Hajj. There are millions of Turks always want to go to Hajj every year. So the relationship was really, really damaged when Khashoggi's killing taken place in Istanbul, in the consulate in Istanbul. That's just really, really serious damage to any relationship. And as you remember, at the time, the president have made a comment about Mohammed bin Salman being directly involved, accused him directly of ordering such a murder in Turkey. And so since then, it's been very, very slow-moving progress to get to this point. And Mohammed bin Salman, of course, has realized, especially after Trump is gone, that he has to engage with the world. He cannot be simply the Saudi crown prince, and the power of oil that the country has can be used to just wash everything away. You have to engage with the world. And so he's making all these trips. He's trying to get back into the world community. So his first trip as a crown prince to Turkey and to Egypt, I think, as well. I don't know. I don't remember if he has been there before, in Jordan. But he's making these trips to bring himself to the world stage as a man of diplomacy, a man of international political scene, and not just Saudi crown prince sitting on the millions of barrels of oil.
Yes. Now, I think just apart from the oil, and we know that Saudi Arabia and Turkey has got a massive history, and more importantly, in terms of assuming leadership of the Muslim world. And we know Turkey was the seat of the Khilafah, the Uthmani Khilafah, the last Khilafah, and the fact that Saudi Arabia has now assumed this role as the leader of the Muslim world purely as a result of being in control of the Holy Lands, Mecca and Medina as well. So the entire Muslim world looks upon Saudi Arabia in that regard as a leadership in the Muslim world because they are in control. And just looking at the role that both Turkey and Saudi Arabia can play for the benefit of the entire Muslim world, given the history that both these countries have.
This is a never-ending question of how could we somehow um, conduct our day-to-day lives as one ummah, identified as one ummah, or adhere to this principle that we are all the same. We have this brotherhood that stems from Islam. I mean, this is our generation has always had this desire, and I'm sure generations before us. We just hope that generations that will come after us will not live in such uh, state, but rather will have better opportunities to unite. At the moment, that rivalry you just mentioned between Turkey and Saudi Arabia for the leadership of Muslim world is still alive. Interestingly, even Iran thinks that they should play their hands in somehow being a leader of Muslims. And so this rivalry of the regional powers, let's call them, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Iran, has been ongoing in some form of like a Cold War attitude, i.e., nobody talks about it, but it's there. And so, but that rivalry has never stopped Turkey and Saudi Arabia be positively engaged with each other. Like I said, the crisis of Khashoggi being killed in Istanbul, it's taken quite some time to get and deal with it and hand over the whole legal aspect to the Saudi authorities, so for them to deal with and to kind of make peace with the Saudi regime and the Turkish regime and move on with the relationship within a diplomatic means, if you like. I mean, you never have friends or allies in international politics. I don't think that's any different between the two Muslim countries. I think countries conduct policies, diplomacies, and international relations in international politics in that manner. Whether they are Turkey or Pakistan, I mean, you would actually sit there thinking that we love each other, and we do. But when it comes to, and we have a lot of cooperations, for example, really close to countries, but still, it's conducted in the manner of international politics at the end of the day. That's the rules of the game. Everybody plays. Mohammed bin Salman now has started playing the same, playing with the same rules of international politics, and Erdogan is responding to it by saying, "Welcome, of course," because at the end of the day, Turkey, he's concerned about Turkish business people being squeezed out of Saudi market. A lot of Turkish business people have basically got their stuff blockaded, even though it's not legal or it's not policy. There's a shadow blockade of Turkish goods into Saudi Arabia. They're not being purchased, or people who need to get their money from the construction businesses they've conducted in Saudi Arabia are unable to get their money because of political, again, blockade that exists, but it's not named, if you like. It's not uttered, but it is practiced. And so there are so many outstanding issues that needs to be resolved, and you can only resolve it through diplomacy, through relationship
Well,
with the two
clearly,
countries.
I think diplomacy is absolutely important and critical as well, and also to look at mutual benefit because clearly this relationship will be cemented for mutual benefit of both. And just looking at Rajab Erdogan being the more astute, the more seasoned politician and a diplomat, and in that regard, Mohammed Salman still needs to prove himself. So at the end of the day, it is going to be largely driven by economic benefit and of mutual benefit to both.
Most likely, as you probably are aware of some of the new projects, Saudi Arabia is investing in massive infrastructure projects like Neom, the city of Neom in northwest side of the country, near the Akala Gulf. billions of dollars of projects, and massive projects, and a lot of construction work that's going to take place. And I'm presuming they're actually hoping Turkish construction companies, which are brilliant and worldwide recognized for the quality of the work that they produce, are going to be invited in to do the work, because this is something that he himself is investing heavily, being the young crown prince, likely to be king whenever that may be. Allah knows best. He will be looking forward to that project being quite a success and ready to pour in so much money. And so Turkish construction companies will be very interested in that project that's going to happen in Saudi Arabia. So it's all about beneficial. It's all about beneficial. How much beneficial the relationship between you two is. So of course they'll fix the relationship because it benefits them both. At the end of the day, brother Inayat, if I may just make this sentence, say the sentence with your permission. We're all capitalists first. Don't you agree?
I
I
agree.
mean,
Definitely.
it's a world we're living in now. Alhamdulillah, of course we are Muslims. But would you not agree with the sentence that first, and I don't want to say this in a kind of joyous way, don't get me wrong, I'm trying to make a symbolic point here. We're all capitalists first.
Well, exactly, and I think you couldn't have put it any better because I think we've got the guiding principles as far as Islam is concerned. But when one looks at the entire world, when one looks at the world economy, including the economies of the Muslim countries, all of them are being driven by the capitalist ideology.
Of course, of course. This is the main issue that needs to be discussed. And I know you guys do a lot of human rights programs and you're trying to discuss these things, and it matters. It does. Because at least saying it without tongues is the least of things we can do about injustices. But really, if we really want to challenge the wrongs, if we really, really want to challenge head on all the atrocities, the injustices that's happening around the world, this is the subject that you need to discuss, brother. We're
Well, we
living
certainly
in
will.
the we're living in the really, really bad times when it comes to this. At the cost of humanity, we're all following the principles of capitalism so badly.
Well, certainly. In fact, I couldn't agree more with you, really. And we try as much as possible. We try and focus to talk about the humanitarian disasters that are unfolding, the injustices that prevail as well. And I must say, it's just unfortunate that our time is so short this morning. But inshallah, at some point in time, I'd like to link up with you. I must say, it's been fascinating having this discussion with you this morning, Brother Hakan,
It was
and
my
hopefully
pleasure.
at some point in time we will have a much more in-depth discussion on some of these issues that we have been talking about.
It will be
But
my
for now,
pleasure. It will be my
all,
pleasure.
all the best to you, my brother. Assalamu alaikum wa
Wa
rahmatullahi wa
alaikum salam.
barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. Bye bye.
That was Hakan Camuz, and really a fascinating discussion, a great insight into unpacking this latest visit of MBS to Turkey. He is the Director of International Law at Stoke White, and we definitely will try and get hold of him at some point in time again. But right now, we're going to go for a break. We've got Mohsin Suleiman, who is standing by, and we're talking about the Human Rights Commission hearing on the Phoenix massacre.